Nicole Ayers. James Fletcher is going to be joining here any second. James is currently passing a kidney stone. I can't even believe he's here. Let's just give him a round of applause.
Thank you. It was a rough 24 hours. Yeah, real bad.
My gosh.
Real bad. Fletcher is here.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Fletch.
I had a new Airbnb. Had to figure out the Wi-Fi.
Oh, you're good. Did you hear that James is currently, right now in real time, passing a kidney stone?
Okay. Doing it live.
Doing it live. We're doing it all on screen.
Yeah. Jauntboards Expanding in 2024. Gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Funny. But honestly, James, if you need to just turn your camera off and take care of things, go for it.
Thank you.
It's called real life, guys. This is real life.
Yep. We talk about it all.
Amazing. Okay, so Fletcher, I'll give you a chance to get your screen pulled up. I'll give a little bit of context. So, one of the problems that we're really excited to help pretty much any company in the world solve is completing projects. 70% of projects actually fail. This is a stat that's been done by project management companies who track this sort of thing. It's like a $1 trillion problem. If anyone's worked for any company, you know that so many projects start and stop or, change course, never hit the objective at all. So when I say they fail, there's a lot of different, meanings behind that. But I guess what's interesting to me is that there's so many things that can be done to ensure a project's success. I think Fletcher, you and I in particular are passionate about making sure that the goal is clear, that there's a process in place, that you have the right team, that you have the right resources, the budget, all of that stuff needs to be considered. And we're not trying to solve all of those problems, but we have really come up with some interesting ways to, I think, to be able to tackle this problem with Jauntboards. The other thing that I want to say before you hop in, Fletcher, is when we were launching this tech product, when we were designing, before we even launched it, we're like, is Jauntboards a project management tool? We feel like it's not, but we know that people are kind of putting it in that bucket. And we didn't want to go to market with a tool that's competing with Monday and Asana and Jira. In fact, we love using those tools ourselves, but we knew that we weren't using them as an agency. With Jumpsuit, we had never used a project management tool for 4 years, and we had done massive projects. And then when we needed one of them, it was really clear why. Project management tools exist to get in the weeds. They are people management and they are task management. So Fletcher, do this thing by Thursday. Because of our business model and everyone's so autonomous and expert at what they do, we didn't need to micromanage people or get in the weeds to be able to get a project done. What we needed to be able to do to ensure project's success was clearly define the goal, have a process in mind, even before we put together a proposal or a scope of work. We're not thinking about the process after the fact on how we're going to get this thing done. So we moved process up to the very beginning before we even gave a quote on the number or anything, on the project budget or anything. And we have seen so much success. And so our tool is really has been built with how can we build a tool that works like how we've been working, that could maybe be a layer above every single project management tool, that even collaborates with them and integrates them, as opposed to competing with them. So that's a little bit of context as to 2024. You're going to hear us talking a lot about projects becoming successful because our tool solves that problem, but also because AI is now in the mix. And just about everybody is going to be asking the question, do we need to change our process for this? Is there an AI that can help maybe save some time or budget? How do we integrate that? How does that change the process? So process is going to be very, very top of mind.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my little tee up for you, Fletcher, if you want to take it away.
I will. Yeah. I just want to add to one thing. What I love about what you're talking about is um, just this idea of shifting from like task management to process management. What's interesting about it as well is it really, I think it helps assist this work from home era, right? Where we had kind of this rigid micromanagement of traditional like task based software, which is really about like, and I know at least from my experience when I've worked on projects and kind of gotten into the culture of some companies, um, the management felt like really like a daily like checklist, and so there's no like kind of strategic oversight of what you're trying to do. So people couldn't connect themselves or their work to a bigger strategy and understanding like the bigger goal of the project.
Yeah.
And so I personally believe that the work suffered because of that. Because when you're just asked to do something very specific, right? Like, hey, Nicole, I want you to put this, whatever competitor audit together by Thursday, and I just want you to research these 3 companies. You only get to be as successful as that scope I just gave you.
Yeah.
But instead, if I say, hey, we're actually trying to alter, the overall like inbound sales of this company, we're looking at this actual outcome, this is one of the steps that's going to inform us on what kind of direction to take. You feel like you're a part of a bigger story that's being told. Well, you are. You don't feel like it. You're a part of like what the purpose of the entire like work is for. And I think that even guides you microscopically the small like decisions we make when we're actually putting together those small milestones that help continually align to what the final deliverable is. So, there's again, from what I can see, bad management is really like it's just these people stuck on like getting someone to operate a certain way, and I feel like they might feel like they're spinning their wheels because they can't get people to work the best ever, so they get more and more clear. They actually put like more and more direction in their asks, and actually there's studies that show that like doing that actually takes away your peripheral vision or your creative thinking and doesn't let people operate at their full potential. So what we love about Jauntboards is it resets the playing field. It says, okay, that's a good direction for some things. Like some things do need task management, but we need to zoom out a little bit. We need to let the whole team transparently see, both internal and the client side, see where we're headed, where we're going, and why what they're doing ladders up to making that successful. So anyway, yeah, it's really, and I think it's so good for this new work from home shift, because when people are working from home, I think you get these weird like contradictive stats that are coming back. They're like, oh yeah, it's not all cracked up to be, or people are more effective and efficient. And I feel like traditional management fails with the work from home era, where they just give them tasks. But I think Jauntboards enables people to manage a project from 50,000 feet up, get people to perform their best because they see, where they're going, where the project's going.
I love that.
Anyway,
No, that's
my little 2 cents on that as well.
Right? It's have a goal, have a process in mind, and be really intentional about it, and then make sure that everyone's not just like treated like a freaking cog in the wheel doing a thing, but has that vision so they feel fully empowered to play that part. Informed by all of the decisions that have gone before them, and truly empowered to hand off to the next people who's going to take their work from them and continue to evolve it. Right. Yeah. Awesome.
Yep. Let me share my screen real quick. I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the features we're rolling out, some of the ways we're thinking about how to expand Jauntboard so it's more usable, people can jump on it faster, and we're really excited about this one. It's actually feels like a minor update, but I feel like it's really it's such a good restructure of how we're instead of forcing people through like this Jauntboard methodology, we're letting people like come in now and use Jauntboards however they need at the moment, and gradually evolving into more of a template style, like what are my services, what am I going to repeat, how do I offer that in a certain way. So just to give you a quick overview before we get started, in today's Jauntboard world, you're expected to basically create a Jauntboard, which is essentially a template, right? It's a template of saying, hey, these are my services that I offer. I do them over and over again. I'm going to perfect them as I continue my career. You can put those in different categories. I'm looking at the team view. So this is where a team can actually put together and consolidate what their offerings are, right? So this is Jumpsuits example, they have, experience design, CX consulting, website design, native app design. You click into those, you actually see the board. And this is where, Jumpsuit is perfecting their process, adding in like examples as they go through them, and then really working on like, what is it that we do and we can continue to do year after year to promise success if we do a new website design process, right? So you all understand that. It's basically your process template. And at the moment, the way Jauntboards works is kind of gets you to think in that paradigm. And then from there, you start a proposal. So you build that template first, then you create a proposal. And then that proposal, you can kind of build out and put a big example deck at the top. So it has your voiceover track. It shows what that whole process is. You can continue to modify and edit it as you go, and as well as put like if they're required or client provided. And then eventually you also start a project, right? And then the project begins, and you watch yourself go from not started at all to things being in progress to things being completed with the link attached to them. And then at the very end of the day, you can convert that entire process into a case study, right? Where they can see what that process was that you took, all of the milestones and deliverables that got you there, what the final product looked like, and maybe a little blurb about it. So you can kind of see it's very linear right now, right? It's like we're trying to get people to think in this new strategic way to build an agency, which is define what your offerings are, and then start delivering and doing proposals or work or case studies against those, and then that will continue to grow and perfect your original template design, your original process. Right? Does that make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
So we love it. We still think that this is effectively the way, but it's really it's a flywheel, right? It's not so linear. Like not everyone needs to enter in through template building.
Yeah.
And that can be really daunting, especially the audience we're talking to a lot right now with freelancers or people wanting to do a side gig. They know they have a lot to offer the world. They've seen themselves be successful in incredible ways. And so for us to just assume they can instantly define what their core competencies are, and also what their services are, and categorize those and build those is a little off. Like people don't think that way. Now, we definitely offer a hibachi design session where Nicole or I or someone on the team will sit down with you and let you just sort of process out loud with what your history is, how you think, what you do, and we'll help for you crystallize what those core competencies are and help you even build what those original job boards are, which is an amazing first launch. And we've done that with people already.
Yeah. And
it's very successful. It's really fun to help them see, oh yeah, you're right. It's not just this odd strategic thing I do. It's actually like this cool crafted, like out of a box little like package I can give people and offer them. And we still do that for sure. But we're realizing more and more people are wanting to use Jauntboards with where they're at right now with a project. So there are people right now that are already midstream in a project, right? And so to expect them to go in and like document what the process is for that project and then create a project and then fill in where they're at up to that point is just a little off. It's not quite fair. It's like it doesn't meet them where they're at. Now it's possible and it doesn't take a ton of time, but it's making them kind of get out of the mind space they're at, zoom out a little bit, build that out, and then re-enter it through. So what we're rolling out early next week is the ability to start from anywhere. So you can see now with this new start button, you can create a template, you could create a proposal, you can create an active project, or you can create a case study. You don't have to first start with that template and then move it to a proposal or active project or case study. What this lets you do, and there's actually some agencies out there that might just want to use Jauntboards just to capture all their case studies. And when they've built up a bunch of case studies, they can then actually convert that case study to a template. So now the entry point is actually the end of that flywheel, right? And so they can go in, they can start documenting and creating all your case studies, use it just as a library of all your case studies. And then the ones that really seem to work well or you're excited to continue to do work on, you can click on the right side and actually say, hey, create template from this case study. Same with active project or proposal. Let's say you guys are out there right now working on a project. You'd like to use Jauntboards, but I guess that's for the future when I start creating, winning new work. Well, now you can actually create an active project and actually get in there and actually build that out and be working on it midstream. And then again, like I said, you can convert that to a case study, or even in its active project state, you can convert that back to a template and then turn it into an offering and show that on your public page. So we're really excited about this. This really opens up, I feel like it makes people not forced to understand and learn the Jauntboard model. It lets you come in where you are. We meet you there. We service you in that area. And then you can evolve and eventually convert those proposals, active projects, or case studies into templates and services you offer again and again.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm thinking of a handful of agencies who have been blown away by our case study feature in general. They're like, if that's all your tool did, that would be enough, you know? And case studies are so powerful. Almost every business feels guilty that they don't do enough of them. You know, they take so long. You know, you have a goal and you go on this mission, you do all this work and you want to tell the story of it. And then most people just move on to the next project and don't complete it. Or if they do, most case studies are, you know, there's a couple different structures, right? It might be a little video that you make or a little challenge solution, you know, kind of like a couple paragraphs on your website or something. But what I love about Jauntboards is you can see the narrative. You can see, like, we set out on this mission. Here's the path that we took to be able to accomplish this. And you can really kind of like open up that drawer and peek in and be like, wow, like that's what you mean by key messaging, right? Wow. You can really show off all that you do. And anyway, so I love this, Fletcher. I think this is going to be so huge. And we've been feeling this pain point as a team as well. Like we had a lot of projects mid-flight when this went live. And so we were like, how do we like make time? We're committed to building on this, but how do we make time to retroactively get everything either midstream or that we've done in the past into Jauntboards, which I think tees up you really well to talk about how AI is going to assist this process too.
Yeah, certainly. So so at the moment, obviously we still have our AI generating boards. That does still just create the template base, but we are working right now. We're working through the prompts and how it's going to be integrated. But basically, when you hit this generate button, it's also going to pop up with what do you want to build here. So you can actually like create a proposal with AI. So if you, and here's what I love about this. This really like makes sense to me. If you're testing a new service or someone, you know, you're having a conversation with someone and they're asking like, well, do you even do something like this? And you know you can, but you don't have, you know, that day to like prepare and build out what that process is. You can literally just put in like, okay, they're asking for a mobile app design, and I just want to put that straight into a proposal. Here's the logo of the company I'm working with, and literally in 20 seconds, you have a comprehensive proposal that you can send that client and say, hey, yeah, here's how I do a mobile app design, right? You can do it live on a call. You can actually like kind of just wow them and be like, yeah, absolutely, I do that. And when they see that like, oh, there's a thoughtful process behind it, and then you start working with them and customizing it for them, you're just landing instantly where you can start making money, right? Instead of Jauntboards being a thing where you do on the weekend to prepare for the, you know, the work week you're going into. Now you can just like build incredibly detailed you know, proposals or even case studies on the fly with them and using AI to assist you with that.
I love that. I've said this a million times and I'm just going to reiterate it for the rest of my life. When you have an opportunity to work with a company, a business or a brand, and they want a proposal, they want a quote, you are more likely to win the work if you can build that SOW or build that proposal with them. So to be able to get on a call very quickly, 15 minutes, and say, hey, here's a process, either one that you already have or one that's AI assisted, and you say, hey, let's collaborate right now in real time and see if this works for you, right? There's going to be, and this is where AI falls short. This is where AI falls short, is it doesn't understand the human nuance of what creates a successful project or a successful outcome. So for instance, if you're talking to a company and they're like, whoa, before we even move to this next part of the process, we've got to get our key stakeholders in the room. We've got to create something for them to get alignment. And so it's like, great, Jauntboards makes it so easy to understand that and add that into the scope. But AI is probably not going to be thinking of that. And we've actually kind of tested it all over the place. And we've noticed all of those little nuances that involve people alignment internally. It's not learning right now. We'll be able to train it over time, but it's not there yet.
Another thing we're really excited about is, and we're putting the finishing touches on it right now. But when you go to generate either a template or a proposal or active project or case study, you will have more than just a prompt to put in there. You'll be able to actually upload SOW files or even point it to a website URL so that you can actually create and generate case studies on old ancient SOWs you've built out. We've already tested this. It's incredible. So, Jumpsuit can grab, 30 of the SOWs they did last year or whatever from the past, drag them in, and Jauntboards will create the case studies out of it. It'll scan the document and say, okay, this is what you were doing. This is what you set out to do. These are the deliverables you promised along the way. And so that is the basic ingredients needed for a Jauntboard, and then it just builds that Jauntboard for you. All you have to do now is insert those links for those deliverables, and you have a full case study done in minutes. Honestly, it's super impressive. And even with again, we're just looking to help people midstream, right? If you're in an active project that you have a SOW for, well, now you can create a active project, upload the SOW, it'll build out what the process was that you were looking at, and it'll infuse it in there, and then you can just keep working, right? It's so quick and integrates into your workflow really well.
It's amazing. Yeah, that's making me think of when a brand comes to you or a client comes to you, they generally ask for a job to be done. I need a website or I need a rebrand, right? And so the magic is in being able to dig in through that discovery process and really understand critical things like what is their timeline, what is their budget, but also what are they expecting and needing along the way, deliverables wise, because you can deliver a job to be done, like a rebrand, with $3,000 or $30,000 or $300,000 or $3 million. And those are going to require really different processes and a lot of variation in deliverables. And so as you are learning how to navigate clients through that process and be able to teach your team how to discern the difference between, we say Jumpsuit does websites, but the client has $40,000. It's like, well, they're going to get a certain process. They're going to get certain deliverables. We're only going to be able to do, this kind of container instead of this kind of container. Jauntboards is going to make that so much clearer for teams and companies to understand why building a website costs so different amounts of money.
Yep. Yeah, we're really, really excited about this new, it's just a new way to integrate it into any stage you're at out there working. It's not forcing you to quite yet fully understand the strategic advantage of having a core competency list of offerings and then building off of those. It lets you come in and you convert those to templates, resell, find the value there, and then start improving. So now it's a flywheel. You can come in any way and then honestly see value from it the first day you buy it. So super exciting. We're really excited about that. With this conversation, we've realized that we are wanting to not just integrate AI, but we really want to take a forefront and start leading conversations around how do you implement AI into products. What does that look like? What does it look like to do that ethically? What does it look like to do that strategically? And how do you think about the future, where it's going, and just put those all in together. So we're doing a ton of research. We're learning super quick and working with people and just really learning what that space looks like. But one thing we're going to roll out as well. I'm going to jump into one of these items here. Actually, we could even create a new one. Unless I think I've just built one recently. Let's do a new one. Okay. All right, I'm going to build quickly a mobile app design and generate that. While that's generating, I'll talk through this. So we're excited. We're collecting a lot of data with Jauntboards. We're excited because we know that eventually that'll lead to insights for executives to make good decisions on how to better and better upgrade their own processes, or even seeing where clients and their team is interacting with process or gaining a lot of insights from it. And so we're excited about eventually building out an entire insight platform. But one thing we realized as we integrated AI into this is we wanted to attribute things that AI built and things that your team built. We know that this data is going to be critical for a lot of reasons, you know, so that the AI itself can start to learn maybe your voice and tone and start to integrate that into future builds. It does. So it's not just building from the ether, you know, and like actually like kind of creating a new process for you. It's actually like looking at like what you've modified and the kind of milestones and the descriptions that you've added and learning what your voice and tone is and then integrating that into the future. So for companies or agencies that have like a really like clear voice and tone, I think Jumpsuit's a good example of that, right? They have this awesome motif with this jumpsuit and the way they talk about things. Our AI will actually start to learn and modify and create, as you use it, descriptions and stuff that match your voice and tone, which is cool. So, but what that took was basically the ability to do attribution. So I'm going to show you here. I'm going to go into this edit, and you can see that these milestones all, again, this will be just for your team view at the moment. So the client won't ever see this or you know, really have visibility into this yet. But we'll have the difference between, you know, milestones that you've created. So this is Jumpsuit created this one versus milestones that AI has created. And obviously if you edit or override those, it'll change the attribution to you. We're just excited about this. This data lets us start to learn what you guys are using AI for, where you're actually going in and doing overrides. It helps us build better prompts and better integration with AI. But this also tees up a good conversation about like integrating AI into your workflow and being really like open about it and talking about how it's making you from a one-man army to basically a 20-person army, what it seems like, you know, because you're leveraging AI to help propel you.
I love that. And right now we're talking about attribution for process. We're really excited when it's time to do our next fundraising round to be one of the first companies in the world to use AI to actually create deliverables and be able to attribute deliverables to either a human or to AI. So if you can imagine a future state where we say, hey, I want to hire an AI to do this market research or to do a landscape analysis or something. And you hit start project and the deliverables already made. That's the future that we're heading into, which is really, really exciting. And you can imagine now, as I'm kind of giving away some a sneak peek of where we're heading, why an analytics platform becomes so important and powerful.
Yeah.
Can we play? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to kind of add on that. Yeah, we're spiking on like research and figuring out like what is feasible here. Like we know that, you know, the broader the thing you ask AI to do, obviously the more opportunity it has to kind of miss the nuance of what your process is. So we're excited about the fact that Jauntboards in itself takes a final deliverable, right, a website design or whatever that final goal is, and breaks it into manageable bite-sized milestones. Is the perfect infrastructure to allow AI to work through that process and assist you or do completely different milestone creation, right? So now that landscape analysis, with a click of a button, it'll ingest the entire process, all the milestones you've accomplished and uploaded to that point. It'll even look at other work you've done, and it can actually create a first draft of what that landscape analysis is so that you can go in and obviously fine tune and tweak that. But it lets you sort of work at the speed, at a much faster speed. And also, in my opinion, it delivers confidence to you because you know you know that you are starting with a pretty good general approach, you know, like whatever that milestone is. And then from there, you add your magic. And that's, anyway, there's an amazing feeling with that. And I think that happens throughout the entire experience of Jauntboards, this confidence of like, oh, I'm not just like making this stuff. I'm not just making this up and you know, making it up on the spot. Like I've thought through what my process is, how we're going to get to the top of this mountain together and why we're going to do it that way. And it makes you more confident when you start that journey.
Yeah. Well, let's play. I want to play around with your new AI rocket ship up there, that little icon. So, okay. So go ahead and click on that. And that we can stay in that board too.
Yeah, I'll stay in here.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's say that we are talking to this client and we realize, you know, for this project in particular to be set up for the most success, we actually need to workshop with the client in person. So now we have the ability, go ahead and click on that to give it a prompt. And so say, add a phase called workshop in between discovery and strategy. And let's say, let's ask it to come up with 3 milestones that makes sense for this type of project. I don't know however you want to say it, Fletcher. Add at least 3 milestones to set the workshop up for success. Up for success.
Cool.
Yeah. Let's see what it does.
Yeah, so in this case, it's actually taking your entire board. It's reassessing all of it. It doesn't do it like in a blank state. It actually like looks entirely at what you're doing and how you're getting there, and then creates something specific for you, which is really cool. This also, by the way, this feature is extremely helpful for adding consistency to all your descriptions, helping like quickly do like a grammatical or spelling error check across your entire job board, which we really like. Okay, cool. So it's added in this new workshop phase, has agenda planning, participant selection, and material preparation, which is pretty cool. Each one has an awesome description to it. And again, from there, you can either continue to modify with AI, or you can, go in and edit phases and milestones and add your own magic to that.
Let's keep modifying. Go back to that. Go back to the rocket and ask it to change all of the descriptions into jokes. Let's say we just really want to lean into our brand.
Just make them all funnier.
Sure. Yeah.
Yep. You can also, by the way, in this prompt today, right now, you can tell it to like, hey, update all my descriptions with a voice and tone that matches this, this website, and then just like literally paste in whatever content that you want in there, and it'll read that and then modify them to match that voice and tone or whatever, which is I think really cool. It lets you sort of put your human touch into things just quickly with one click of a button.
All right, let's see how it did.
So if I had even can't stop laughing.
Make the client meeting feel like a stand-up comedy show with a touch of design drama and a pinch of tech thriller. Tell it to be. I mean, and then if you guys have played with AI, you can keep prompting it. So you can be funnier, talk like this person, or you can do quite a bit with it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We've also realized, just to let you know while we're on this topic, back even here on the Generate board, if you have a website and you've already kind of gone through and defined maybe one of your processes, you can actually just paste in that URL, and it'll scan that web page and then put together that process for you, which is really cool. So you can, if you've done the work already, yeah. Let me go find mine. If you want to talk for a second, I'll go and find that URL.
Yeah. What do you think, James? This is your first time seeing this stuff in action, yeah?
Yeah. I am really happy because I was someone who, like, even though I'm on the Jauntboards team, have trouble actually building a Jauntboard. So like having the button where it's like new and you select where you want to begin, right, with templates or case studies. And then the AI feature where I can just like talk my thoughts out loud, and then my process starts to appear is like really thrilling to me. Like the moment we launched AI in Jauntboards, it just made my own abilities actually feel like I could do something now.
Yeah, well, that's a really interesting conversation because I know you really well and really good friends. So I think we can talk about this. But I think the reason that creating a Jauntboard has been so hard for you is because process is hard for you. You have ADHD and your brain doesn't work that way. You can do the same thing over and over and over again. You've done it a million times for years, and then you go to start a brand new project and you're like, what am I doing again? Like, that's just what happens for you, right? And so like we've talked about this, that you need to document your process, but because your brain doesn't enjoy doing that or whatever, it's just not your strength. That 0 to 1 state that we had in the beginning where you had to look at like a blank page and do it was really hard. It was easier when we started doing the hibachi design sessions where you could talk out loud and Fletcher and I would build it for you. Right. And now, you know, I want to be clear. We don't have the feature quite yet to be able to allow you to talk out loud and let AI build, but we'll go there. You know, we'll head.
And just to let you know, if you have any other app transcribe it. So if you're in Google Meets and you turn on transcription, you can actually paste that entire transcript in there and say process from this.
Oh, yeah.
So you can do that right now.
Hack.
Yeah.
Great hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking to Justin Oberman, one of our users and investors, and he's similar, right? He loves to hop on a discovery call with the client and ask, "What are you looking for?" And you know, they're having this 30-minute conversation. Well, I need this, not this, whatever. And no one's taking notes. They want to be present with each other. But he's got an AI on that call recording the conversation, and then he's been taking that and doing this whole process to use AI to create an SOW, and then he's, an SOW, and then he's been putting that into Jauntboards and having him build it. So we're going to be able to simplify all of those steps for him, really, at some point.
Yeah. Also, I'm just going to show you this too. So this is just an agency that offers social video ads. They have this description on this page and what it is and stuff like that. So I've just pasted in that same URL, hits generate, and you'll see it actually goes and scans what that is and then creates a process based on what's described on that website.
Yeah, that's so nice. And is it just websites, or is it any URL on the internet? So let's say I've got some documents in Google or like a PDF in Google. Like what actually can it crawl right now?
So document uploads we're working on right now. Okay, yeah, here you can see the social video ads. It's now created, full process based on that website, what's talked about, which is pretty cool. So again, I mean, we just created that in 20 seconds. We converted what they've already put work into a full process, which is awesome. I mean, this is also nice for you guys just starting out. If there's someone that you respect and love and like think that they have some cool processes that they've described, you can start there, like actually bring it into a Jauntboard and start working from that direction. And then Nicole, what you're talking about is basically from a file upload. So that's what we're working on right now. So back here on this homepage, there'll actually be a little, upload attachment, or on that pop-up, you'll be able to drag in any file as well, and it'll build a Jauntboard from that. So yeah, there really is so many ways to input and create and go from, that blank canvas to actually a 90% complete version. So much so, this is me personally, but recently, where I would typically go to and do a Google search or even do a YouTube search on how to do something. A few weeks ago, my girls actually put on a little event for some of their friends. It was like a camp day. And so I was just curious. I just went in, I was like, hey, setting up a, one-day camp for, friends. And it was so interesting. It's like, yeah, you should do these things. Think about these items. And I was like, this is kind of becoming a new media type for me. I could go and how do I do an Airbnb? I'm staying in an Airbnb. What is the process to get an Airbnb? Because this would be cool to rent that out. Well, I can just basically using this generate a board using AI. I could say doing an Airbnb and just see how they say the step-by-step should be to make that happen. And it's amazing that action step breakdown of how to do something goes from this big impossible dream to something I can definitely start to check that off, little by little every day.
It's amazing. Yeah. So, we're living right now in how do I do a thing, and that builds the infrastructure for the next question, which is who's the person, or what's the AI that can help me do that thing. Right. So you can see where we're going with this.
So one other feature, I'm very, very excited about this. So a lot of the people using Jauntboard that love it, that are going off on their own, they're starting to work, they're trying to get some new designs. Just recently, they've been posting and saying, hey, here's my Jauntboard, and then here's the website I just spun up, right? And we hesitantly said in the past, Jauntboards could be your website, but we realize more and more that that's just not quite fair. A lot of people want a website so they can put their personal brand, their personal style. They want to talk about other things besides just their services. They want to talk about whatever, And so to like say we can replace a website is as true as it is, even though you'll have your vanity URL and it gets straight to the point. We really need to look at better integration. So we are going to roll out embedding. So what that means is basically your Jauntboard offering down here with the little tabs at the top if you have them, or just these cards. You can actually embed these cards straight onto your website through an iframe. So Wix, Wikipedia, Squarespace, whatever it is, you'll be able to just add a new module and then paste in that embed code, and it'll just bring in these cards straight to your website. And now people can actually see and jump into and dive into your processes wherever you want to meet them. And you don't have to manage 2 different URLs. You can just embed them all here. And obviously, as you work on Jauntboards and continue to build them out, all of those updates will be made live to wherever you've embedded it. So we're super excited about that. We're really hoping that agencies or even freelancers that are just starting that are definitely going to be building websites, that this will be the way that you offer your services through that website, right? The rest of the website gets to talk about who you are and what you do, or however you want to lay that out. But then when it comes to showcasing your services, you'll use the embed feature to just put the Jauntboard straight in there.
Mm-hmm. And it's not even just services. A Jauntboard, in essence, being a process, can also be productized. I'm seeing you've got some gated icons up there, right? So you can gate any process that you build. I mean, if you want to just go to the Jauntboards, site or something and actually show one that's
real,
built out and real. But yeah, you can actually gate a Jauntboard if it makes sense for you to. You can gate it for free with an email. You can say this Jauntboard costs $50 or $500. It's entirely up to you and the market.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is an example of a Jauntboard that we built at Jumpsuit. We work with a ton of freelancers who either have small agencies or aspire to build agencies. And even if they're not trying to build an agency, they still need a lot of the foundational contracts and processes and templates. So like they need an SOW template. They need, if they ever get the opportunity to work with an enterprise, they need a master services agreement template. If they ever want to hire another contractor, they need to know how to have the legal documents to hire them as a 1099 and all of that. So this was a really cool product for us to be able to put together. It's not quite a process, right? We're not telling you exactly how to do this. We're just using Jauntboards as a way to aggregate all the things that you need to be able to operate like an agency for the low price of $950.
Which
honestly, like the amount of money you spend paying an attorney and someone else to build out all these things is a really good deal.
Yep. And just real quick, I mean, I know the title of this one is Expand 2024. Just to give you, we've really shown you a lot of the incredible features we're rolling out. Actually, not even in the distant future. These are things we're working on, or even having staging right now that'll be rolling out in the next week. But another thing we're looking at doing is actually just upgrading our link, adding links to these different milestones. So right now, obviously, you can go in and add your link URL and name, but we're going to kind of update that so it's a little simpler. You can you start by just like pasting in what the link is. It's going to scrub that link and see if it has a title already, bring that in, and then you can also update and override what the icon is. So it brings in the favicon at the moment, and that's a great starting point, but you can update that and change it to something else. And then also being able to update your own files. So we'll have a file repo so you can actually update, drag in your PDFs or a file, and it'll house it and let you preview that right in the milestone. So that'll be really cool as well.
Oh, the preview. Gosh, that's going to make the UI so much more beautiful. It's so simple and foundational right now, but able to see the video pop up or the PDF, right? That'll be so amazing.
Yep, we're excited about that.
I'm just learning about in real time right now.
Another thing we're working on is kind of upgrading our cards. So now we're actually going to show a little bit more metadata, so you can see on your active projects that you're 67% complete on this project. You can go in, and as you update, these things will be instantly updated. So you see that there's one milestone remaining, 67% complete. And then we're going to actually move in. We're going to have a new card type for case studies that actually shows what that final deliverable image is. And it has that nice logo lockup of your logo and the company. So these will be getting a facelift. Proposals will also have a description in them. So we're sort of upgrading the cards. Again, the reason being that you're going to be able to embed these screens, right? So you can obviously embed your overall like consulting or whatever this category into your website. But you could also build out a web page on your website for case studies and embed these case study cards over there as well. So we're trying to make sure these cards are clean and something you want to present and put on your website. So that's another update we're working on at the moment, and we're excited about that. There is a big update that we're looking at doing, which is when you've created a case study, we'll actually take all the milestone deliverables as well as that logo, and we're going to bring them back over to the source template. So let's say you've done, let's go back to Jumpsuit here. I'm looking at their boards, and they have a service, for website design. So actually under website design, you'll have your description, but you'll also have all the logos of case studies that you've built from that template, which is really powerful. Again, especially when you're embedding that into your website, you'll be able to show, hey, yes, I've done native app design, and you can take my word for it and see the process. And obviously I can send you those case studies I've done, but you'll literally have a scroll bar of all the logos of projects you've done in the past using that process. And you can link straight to it and then click on it and actually see the case study and see what that final deliverable is. So that's going to be an incredible way to really build to build trust with your clients when they actually just see overall what your services are, that they'll see logos stacked up against each one of them, showing that, this isn't just an idea. This is something you've done a few times.
Amazing.
Really, really excited about that one. Yep. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to those, Nicole.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of how much we want to give away.
I know.
Are you comfortable talking about the RFP stuff coming up?
Yeah, for sure. Actually, yeah, you and I will get to talk. I mean, again, we're just building in public here, but let's talk about that for a second. And it's not even that complicated, Nicole. I think we're going to be able to do something pretty quick on that. So a proposal, obviously, the direction we're building the proposal page on Jauntboards is usually for us freelancers or clients that are looking to win work, right? So you put together what your process will be, you add our deck, and you kind of talk through with them and kind of build it out. So that's great, and that'll continue to be that way. But what's interesting is requests for proposals are basically the same thing if you think about it. It is a proposal. You're saying, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want you guys to do it, or this is how I want you to think through it, and then submit your work here. So what we're really excited about looking at and diving into is making it so that you can actually build RFPs in Jauntboards as well. Why this is interesting is if you think about the use case of putting together an RFP, embedded in the name is that you don't know exactly how to do it out of the gate. So if it's even a massive industry or whatever, a big company that's like, man, we need a new app design. We need a new app in the app marketplace, right? On iOS. Well, we need to do an RFP because we've never done that here. So how do you actually even know or expect what people's bids are going to come back at? Well, what's so beautiful about the fact that we have this AI integration, you could now say, hey, I want to build an RFP for a mobile app design, and it'll put together what the typical process is for you. So going in what to expect as far as price point and stuff like that. So basically it's a proposal just turned around where you're just sort of stating what the general layout should be, what the final deliverable wants to be. You can add still a deck at the top that shows maybe your constraints and stuff like that and the time frame. But now people can bid and actually win the work in Jauntboards. And again, it just follows the same process. When that work is awarded, you can turn it into an active project and then even a case study at the end.
Yeah, this is in my head the biggest thing. That path, as well as being able to use AI to create first drafts of deliverables. Those are going to be game changing in how work gets done in the future. Yeah, we spent a lot of time when we were early on in thinking through what this product is and trying to identify our ideal customer. and we talked to some enterprise companies. I'm thinking about a guy at Microsoft in particular that we had a really good call with, and he gave us the feedback. He's like, you know what, like Microsoft's probably never going to add to their tech stack another project management tool or process. Like what they actually do is hire someone like me who can bring my own process to the table, so that when I get $1 million budget to go do this project, I can go make it happen. But what he told us is a lot of the times I'm being asked to do things I've never done before. I have to put together an RFP and I have no idea how to do it. So what do? I go to Google and I search, or I ask around internally, see if someone else has ever done this before, but I'm making a lot of this stuff up and I actually have no idea how to do it. And that's the case for a lot of people who have budgets set aside to be able to do projects. And he said, if Jauntboards could turn into a place where I could go and it helps me write an RFP, or it connects me to an agency who can help me do that and make sure that I'm even asking for the thing that I need to be able to accomplish my goal. This is verbatim, I remember, he said that would literally save my life.
Yeah.
So, our roadmap to be able to get brands and enterprise companies using this platform is, I think, a lot shorter than we anticipated with where we're thinking right now. So, because everyone's got to do projects. Right now, we've been building this tool for freelancers and agencies, but we're on the precipice of being able to allow any company to be able to use this. They can right now use this tool to get an RFP or get a project defined. And the matchmaking abilities. How do I hire an AI to do this thing? How do I hire a freelancer? How do I hire an agency to be able to do this thing that we just don't have the capacity for, or we don't have the in-house talent, is going to be a huge, huge marketplace for us.
Yep.
And you heard it now. Begin January 5th, 2024. It's amazing.
2024. Yep.
Awesome.
Also, yeah. I think, we're really excited. We're starting to see a lot of the effort and stuff that we've been building over the last 2 months are kind of reconverging. We've been working on this AI integration, and we've been working on like starting this as a pinwheel instead of just as a linear thing. And now we're able to put those together, and even this RFP with the way we've been doing proposals, and a lot of the work we've been doing is kind of coming to this nice trailhead where like they're all merging again and kind of creating an overall better experience on the platform. So we're really, really excited about this the next few months here.
Yeah, awesome. I guess we can go ahead and wrap it. I'll just point out that there's a little QR code up here in the corner. If you want to invest, we have a community round open right now through mid-February. So definitely click that. It's wefunder.com/jauntboards. We're really passionate about allowing the normal people doing the jobs who are going to be competing with AI to own this thing with us and actually help us build it and inform it, so we can build a tool that helps people transition their careers into a more collaborative work environment, one that's informed by ethical AI. And of course, we have really, really big plans for this thing, and we, hope we can all benefit from it.
Yep.
Awesome. Very cool. Thank you so much for the demo, Fletcher. I'm excited for this year.
Me too. Happy New Year, everyone.
All right.
Awesome.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.